On Thursday, a Hong Kong court found two independent journalists guilty of sedition for their coverage of the pro-democracy protests that took place in 2019. This trial marks the first instance since Hong Kong's handover from Britain to China in 1997 that has specifically targeted journalists and editors. Chung Pui-Kuen, the former editor-in-chief of Stand News, and Patrick Lam, the former acting editor-in-chief, were convicted of conspiracy to publish and disseminate seditious material, as announced by Judge Pui-Kuen on Thursday afternoon. The announcement of the verdict was postponed 3 times over several months, following a 2-month trial. The legal action against Chung and Lam began in December 2021 when police raided the Stand News offices, detaining at least 6 staff members. The online news outlet ceased operations the following day. Chung, 54, attended the court session to hear the verdict, while Lam, 36, was absent due to health issues, according to local media reports. Both journalists face a maximum sentence of 2 years in prison but remain on bail, with sentencing scheduled for September 26. Reports indicate that they plan to appeal the ruling. In reaction to the verdict, U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller described the convictions as a direct attack on media freedom that undermines Hong Kong's previously esteemed reputation for openness. During the trial, prosecutors highlighted 17 articles published by Stand News, which included stories featuring pro-democracy activists Nathan Law and Ted Hui, both of whom are wanted by Hong Kong authorities, as well as essays from other advocates for democracy. The court claimed that these articles promoted illegal ideologies in Hong Kong, characterizing Stand News as a political platform and online news source. Judge Kwok stated that the court determined that the political climate at the time was highly charged, with many residents expressing dissatisfaction with both the Hong Kong and Central Chinese governments. In this context, the court found 11 of the 17 articles to be seditious. Eric Yan Ho Lai, a research fellow at the Georgetown Center for Asian Law, told VOA that the verdict is likely to have a chilling effect on the media landscape in Hong Kong. Without a prompt appellate ruling, this verdict could further stifle the local media industry, which has already been practicing self-censorship since 2020, Lai noted. It could also impose additional challenges for foreign media outlets in Hong Kong, which have been more willing to report dissenting views. Lai anticipates that the legal proceedings will continue, stating, "This verdict is just the beginning of a free press trial, as the defendants are expected to appeal, and that process could be lengthy." Founded in 2014, Stand News operated independently during the 2019 student protests, often featuring perspectives critical of the Hong Kong government, alongside those supportive of Beijing. It was considered one of the last independent news sources in Hong Kong until it ceased operations in December 2021. Lai emphasized that the application of the sedition law in this case clearly indicates the Hong Kong government's efforts to curtail press freedoms and suppress dissenting opinions. The Stand News case is particularly significant as it marks the first time the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region government has used the sedition law against media editors and outlets, Lai explained. The British colonial government had not enforced the sedition law since the 1970s. In recent years, authorities have invoked colonial-era laws to prosecute individuals accused of seditious acts, which carry a maximum penalty of 2 years in prison. Observers note that the trial's outcome reflects the increasingly limited space for press freedom and independent journalism in Hong Kong. Alexandra Bielakovska, an advocacy officer at Reporters Without Borders, told VOA that the verdict establishes new red lines in the territory. This guilty verdict sends a clear message and sets new boundaries. Remaining media outlets will need to exercise even greater caution when reporting on pro-democracy activists who are either imprisoned or living in exile, Bielakovska stated.